Hi guys, this is Just Play FM with another Football Manager 2015 video. This time I wanted to see what would happen if John Stones moves to Chelsea. Now there are a lot of rumours around with his imminent transfer, and with the fact that Chelsea did have a £30 million fee rejected recently. I do believe that's supposed to be upped to about £36 million, which would be quite some fee for this young defender. As you can see from his stats overall, at the age of 20, I mean he does look very promising, and it does look like he is going to be John Terry's replacement. If we have a look at his history and where he's come from, we can see he started off his career at Barnsley and then sort of moved to Everton for £1.5 million. Last season was his most prolific season in terms of getting into the first team and cementing that solid place as a centre-half. The potential at Chelsea is going to be really interesting because they've obviously got world-class players, and it will be very interesting to see sort of how he fits in. If we just take a quick look at Chelsea, they've got Kurt Zouma, John Terry, of course, Gary Cahill, Ivanovic. So John Terry is sort of moving on, and I am possibly thinking about doing sort of like a 5-year project just to see sort of how he progresses. So what we'll do is we'll simulate the first season and see how he gets on. Right guys, it's the 8th of June 2015. Let's see how John Stones has got on in his first season at Manchester City. Right, so actually he's played quite a handful of games. I wasn't really expecting that. You can see he's had 25 overall appearances, coming off the bench 13 times and actually scoring 3 goals, which is really good. Let's have a look and see his career stats this season in the league. He's appeared 18 times in the Premier League, no goals, 1 assist, and with a good average rating of 7.13. So actually a very sort of impressive start, I think, to his his overall first season. Let's have a look and see how Chelsea have actually got on, whether they've actually won the league. That would be interesting. Okay, so you can see they've finished second. Let's have a look at the who they finished second to. Manchester City, with all that money, 8 points behind. They'll be disappointed with that. I would have expected them probably to have won the season, which would have technically been last season, just because of their sheer squad quality. You can see Man United and Everton sort of fell behind. Arsenal very disappointing there in 6th, and Liverpool in 7th. Let's have a look at the FA Cup. Chelsea got knocked out in the semi-final by Liverpool, who ended up winning that competition. Chelsea did win the Community Shield. The Capital One Cup, they finished. They actually only got to the 3rd round. They got knocked out by Southampton. And look at that, they have won the UEFA Champions League. Let's see who they beat. Oh, and they beat Manchester City, who pipped them to the title. Amazing. Who did Stones play? Stones did play, actually. In fact, it looks like he may have played. That's interesting. Let's have a look at the. Let's see if we can see the formations here. So John Stones was in fact actually playing right back for Chelsea. So it'd be interesting to actually see if they have been playing him at right back consistently. If we have a look at his attributes, actually there we go. So, in fact, he actually has been playing the majority of his games as a right back. I mean, he is accomplished. It's not his sort of natural position. But in order to sort of fit him in, I guess Jose Mourinho sort of thought, well, if I put him in the right back position, he'll get more games, because he's only really started 9 games centre back. So, all in all, very interesting first season. What we'll do is we'll holiday another season and see how him and Chelsea get on. Right guys, so it's the 1st of June 2016. Let's see how our friend John Stones has been getting on. Okay, so more appearances. So he's He's come on 32 times, coming off the bench 3 times, scoring 3 goals. Let's see how he did in the league. So a couple of more appearances, 20 appearances. He did actually get a goal this season, so I'm sure he was very happy with that. 1 assist, 1 player of the match, and an improved average rating at 7.39. So, that's good. He's getting in the team more and more. Let's see how Chelsea got on this season. Okay, so you can see straight off the bat they've actually won the league, which is brilliant. Really, really good to see. Let's see who they beat. Arsenal. Wonderful. Really, really good. 4 points. Really, really, not too many, but enough to win it. Obviously, as you can see, Man United, Man City, Liverpool, more or less a very sort of realistic top 5 there. And you can see they've also won the Champions League as well. So that's already a double right there. I think that's actually back-to-back Champions Leagues. So you've got to commend them, really. If we look at the past winners, look at that, back-to-back. That'll be the first time in the modern generation of the European Cup. So Mourinho has done it again, I suppose. You can see they beat Real Madrid on penalties. Stones did actually score one of the penalties, so that's really, really good. Again, I think he was playing right back. Let's have a look and see what else they've done. So they didn't win the European Super Cup. They lost that to Real Madrid. In the FA Cup, they got knocked out in the 5th round by Swansea City. Again, that would have been very poor. I would have expected them probably to win that and get to the semi-final final. And in the Capital One Cup, they were knocked out by Manchester City, who ended up winning that competition. You can also see at the bottom there, they did win the Club World Championship, which is sort of, I suppose, a bit like the Community Shield. It's not a major trophy, but it's a trophy nevertheless. Let's see how they've been doing in the transfer dealings. Okay, so they actually bought Falcao for 24.5 million. Again, they bought Hulk. This seems to be a recurring theme in my experiments videos. Hulk seems to be always bought by Premier League clubs. And they also bought this guy called Eric Anderson as well. So, they've spent, 40 million or so, but no defenders, so it looks like John Stones will sort of be set to continue and eventually replace John Terry. Let's just have a quick look and see how he's if he's been okay. So it's a little bit more even this time. We saw in the last year that he actually played more at right back, but this year you can see he's playing more centre back, but he's sort of half and half really. And you can see he's just playing slightly better as a centre-back, which you would expect being his natural position. Okay, so we're going to simulate one more season and see if he can actually, him and Chelsea can emulate that Champions League and get and also emulate the Premier League. Okay guys, so it's the 5th of June 2017. Let's see how John Stones has got on in his 3rd year at Chelsea. Okay, so we can see he is becoming a first-team regular now with over 47 total appearances, coming off the bench 5 times and scoring 1 goal this season. You can already see his value has sort of, come up to 21.5 million, nowhere near as much as what they paid for him, but I guess you're paying for that investment. Let's have a look and see how he got on in the league. So 31 appearances, more than any other in the last 3 years. No goals, 2 assists, 2 player of the match awards, and a nice average rating of 7.40. So he's coming on leaps and bounds. So let's have a look and see how Chelsea have actually done. Have they won the league? Okay, so they've come 2nd in the league. Who have they come 2nd to? This will be interesting. Wow, so Liverpool have won the league with 75 points. Chelsea just 1 point behind, so they'll feel really, really gutted. You can see the sort of last, recent form. Last couple of games they drew. It's a difference between those couple of points, so they'll be really, really gutted about that. Again, Manchester City, Arsenal, and Manchester United realistic sort of standings there. If we look at the UEFA Champions League, they lost in the final to Bayern Munich, so they'll feel absolutely gutted. They lost in extra time. Did John Stones play? Yes, he did. Again, I think he was playing right back for Chelsea. They'll feel gutted. They really will. Oh, Kurt Zouma, own goal. That would have been unbelievable to win it 3 years in a row. If we look at the European Super Cup, they actually lost that to Bayern Munich again. So, although this was before the Champions League final, if we have a look at the FA Cup, they were knocked out in the 6th round by Manchester United. Probably to be expected. You know, it's a big game. Anybody can win that. In the Capital One Cup, they were knocked out in the 4th round by West Ham. Probably a little bit disappointing. They probably would have expected to beat West Ham. And you can see they've won the Community Shield and Club World Championship, respectively. Okay, so let's have a little look at the transfer dealings. So you can see that they have spent 61 million on a number of players. One interesting signing is Phil Jones, who in fact plays in sort of a similar position to John Stones. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not John Stones does indeed get pushed out onto the right because of the arrival of Phil Jones. Interesting stuff. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to simulate another couple of seasons just to see sort of how he gets on in his career at Chelsea and see if he can improve and win yet again more Premier Leagues and hopefully Champions Leagues with Chelsea. Okay guys, so it's the 1st of June 2019. It's been a couple of years since we've checked up on John Stones, so let's see how he's getting on. So he's still at Chelsea. That's really good to see. Let's have a look at his last couple of years. So in 2017-2018 he made 30 appearances, scoring 1 goal and no assists, but 2 Player of the Match awards and a nice 7.00 average rating. And just this season gone, he made 24 appearances, no goals, 1 assist, 2 Player of the Match awards, and a healthy 7.25 average rating. So really, just continuing on from the last few seasons, where he's really sort of in the first team. He seems to be playing very well. Let's have a look at sort of Chelsea, how they did this past season. You can see they have actually indeed won the Premier League. Let's see who they beat. Manchester United by 3 points. So they'll be very, very happy with that. You can't really say much more than that. In the Champions League, they got knocked out in the semi-finals by Real Madrid. In the FA Cup, they got knocked out in the semi-finals by Tottenham. So they seem to be, falling at the last sort of hurdle. And in the Capital One Cup, they got knocked out in the 4th round by Liverpool. So again, that would probably be a tough game. And as you can see there, they've won the Community Shield. Let's have a look at the previous season, because I know that we'd be interested to sort of see how they got on. Let's have a look at the previous season. So they actually won the Premier League again the previous season, beating Manchester United. So it's good to see that's back-to-back Premier League titles for them, which is pretty good. Let's have a look at how they actually got on last season in terms of some of the competitions. Let's see how they got on firstly in the FA Cup. So they got to the 4th round but were knocked out by Southampton. Let's see, were they involved in the Community Shield? They were not. Capital One Cup, they lost to Aston Villa. Are we able to we're not able to see the actual who scored and if John Stones was playing, but we can see there they lost 1-0. So I'm sure they'd have been pretty gutted by that. Champions League, didn't really have a great time. They were knocked out in the first round by Bayern Munich. 4-0 on aggregate, not good at all. And were they involved in the... they weren't involved in anything else. So I suppose overall, really, you know, John Stones has had a pretty good last few years. He's, you know, clearly won a number of trophies. Let's see any awards that he may have won. So really, I mean, he's won he's won 2 Champions Leagues. He's won the Community Shield several times, and he's won 3 Premier League titles. So, you know, you can't say the move was too bad. He seems to have done very, very well. In terms of awards, really nothing. Just trying to see if there's anything. Yeah, nothing really special. I mean, he was named in a dream team for the Champions League, several Team of the Weeks, named in England's seasonal best 11. Be interested to see how many caps. He's got 47 caps and 4 goals for England, so he's definitely in the England scene. I'm wondering if he's actually captain at all of England. I wondering if we can find that out somewhere. Just looking to see if we can... No, it doesn't look like we can find that out straight away. But interestingly enough, I think he's done really well. I think John Stones is, you know, is clearly going to be a really, really good defender in the future. And with his imminent transfer to Chelsea, I think they've got a very, very good player on their hands. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and please subscribe to my channel. And if there are any other players that you would like to see in these experiments, please link them down below in the comments. Thanks for watching.